My next guest started his career at the ripe young age of 17, and his career has been multiplying ever since. As an actor and as a comedian, and as a musician, and as a television personality, and as a father. And he's even taken social media by storm with a huge following of over 5 million on Instagram and tons more of YouTube views. And now he's added a new job title as a fellow daytime host. One of the busiest men in show business. Please welcome back my good friend, Nick Cannon. Wow! Look at this. What an outfit. What an outfit.
Good to see you.
I like this.
You like the orange?
I like the orange. Like, look at the shoes. My shoes are like regular old doctor shoes. That's imagine if I wore those in the hospital.
That'd be amazing. How you been, Doc?
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
So, what's it been like hosting a show? I mean, you've done everything, but hosting daytime is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to take a few pages out of your book just based off of really connecting with people in a real intimate fashion and inspiring. You educate and inspire. I try to entertain and inspire.
You do it well. What has surprised you the most?
How much fun it is, actually, in that sense of I never really. I mean, I knew how hard and difficult and it could take on just having to do that consistently every day. But every day it's just like a new surprise, new joy. And I really see it as like a central hub or central intelligence of all things that I would ever imagine or love to do. So it's a new experience every day. And I didn't think it was going to be like that. I thought it was going to be work, and I haven't felt like I showed up to work yet.
There's one subtle difference in daytime that I've learned over 13 seasons is that you actually become parts of people's family.
Right.
An entertainer gets to entertain.
Right.
Elevate. You come on at night, you make it really loud.
Yeah.
Singer, good example. I mean, you just do crazy, fun things.
Yeah.
Daytime shows, because they're part of the family, they need you to be as real as possible. So
Absolutely.
When they look at you, as we're talking now, if you're not who you are, they can tell, and they won't stick around. So
100%.
What do you want people to know about Nick Cannon that they might not have picked up from the entertainer part of you that they're going to learn now that you're in their house every day?
That I'm flawed, that I'm vulnerable, you know what I mean, in that sense, to be able each and every day, especially because you see me every day.
Yeah. So I've gotten to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you think is your biggest flaw.
Oh, my biggest flaw? Yeah. That is a great question. Being too optimistic.
Oh, that is a great answer, actually.
Yeah.
So what's an example? You've been too optimistic.
Sometimes I can get delusional in my optimism, you know what I mean? And always wanting to feel like I can fix everything. I can make it all work. I'll get it done. I'll figure it out. Or sometimes you're not going to be able to. And not realizing that, because I'm always so focused, so driven that I don't take the time to, again, like I said, I'm through therapy and all these things, I'm learning that it's not, you don't always have to have the right answer. You don't always have to fix the problem. And that's why even through this process of daytime, I get that opportunity to sometimes like, hey, I'm flawed, I'm vulnerable. Some days it's going to be tougher than others. And some days, we're going to have, and especially live television, you got to let them know, like, yeah, I flubbed that. Yeah, I wasn't, I wasn't clicking on all cylinders, this morning or today, and even in those moments, but just understanding the human experience and, the fact that we get a blessing to get a shot at it each day.
So you're starting season 6 of The Masked Singer. I've been invited to perform in that
Come
show
on, when you coming?
6 times.
When are you coming?
You've never heard me sing.
Have you seen some of the singers on our show?
I tell you, even the bad ones are better than me. But here's the real question I got to know. Look, Dr. Ken and I have a little bit of thing going on.
Yeah.
And so I'll be honest here. Just compare me to panel judge Dr. Ken.
You probably would be so much more resourceful, honest, and entertaining. He is entertaining. I can't tell you, the honesty and the resourcefulness, I can't really put my finger on when he's telling the truth. He's always hanging his degrees and his doctorate over our heads. But, probably one of the funniest guys in the world.
So, speaking of bromances, and I do adore Dr. Ken, you've got one with Kevin Hart. And I loved how you started off the season with this prank war.
Yeah.
And when I see you and Kevin, I think, and he's a Philly boy. I grew up in that area. He brings it to the table. And you guys, you feel like best friends. Here he is, messing with you, right?
It's real life.
He gave you lots of opportunities to hurt him, but you never did. Yet he gave away your cell phone number,
right?
Which I've been calling you, by the way. Do you think this prank war's gone too far?
You know what? I think because it's his turn now, so I'm on pins and needles. I'm on edge, and he keeps teasing me. And I'm like, he's about to do something ridiculous. And I've opened myself up so many ways. I'm like, I know it's coming. And the last thing we did the premiere episode on my show, where I wrapped this private jet with my face on it and put the slogan, Kevin rides the cannon. And so he's really like being methodical about how he's going about it. And I literally was texting him this morning and I was like, I know you're doing something because I haven't heard from you in a few days. I know it's coming. So whatever it is, I'm prepared.
His mind never stops.
Never stops.
All right, we have to take a break, but up next, Nick talks about having so many kids, co-parenting with Mariah Carey, and whether or not he's taken a vow of celibacy. We're back with the Masked Singer host and newly minted talk show host, Nick Cannon. I love big families. I've got 4 beautiful kids who fill our house with tons of joy and laughter when they're growing up, but Nick has lapped me. He just became a father again, bringing a total count to 7. He's got twins Zion and Zilly. Are you expecting any more children in the near future?
I don't know, Doc. What you think? Where should I stop?
Look, 12 was a biblical number.
We are on the same page. I mean, it's funny. We joke. Only the reason why people talk about vasectomies and all this stuff.
Gosh.
I think having had many family structures and currently operating in an unorthodox one. I think the special thing about marriage is it's confined and it's an institution. So you have a lot more control of how your family infrastructure goes. When being a single man who still is out there, like I don't think more kids and more families, but you never know. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'll feel in 5 years. I don't know how I'll feel in 10 years. So those things. So when people say, "Are you going to have more kids?" That's a very difficult question to ask, unless I did have something like a vasectomy, because I don't know if I'm going to find love again. I don't know how deep I'll go again. I don't know. You never understand what the universe is going to present to you. So I just take each day as a blessing, like I always say, and then try to do my best, try to do better than I did yesterday.
Well, one of the issues about being a father of a lot of kids is if the kids themselves can't figure it out, then even if you're giving them unconditional love, they got to do a little more juggling. So I think Rock and Roll, right? The oldest 2 twins.
Absolutely.
How are they dealing with having 5 younger siblings?
I mean, these are probably the most well-aligned and bright and loving young people I've ever met. I mean, my oldest are 10. So I'm cool to them, you know what I mean? Dad goes viral on TikTok, and Dad's on wilding out, and Dad came from Nickelodeon. He makes cool music, so Dad's cool right now. So hopefully I can hold on to that, because that gets me everything, you know what I mean? Like, and I probably am, because I'm a kid at heart. I have this whole like boyish naivete that hey, you want an energy drink? All right, go ahead. Like where mom's like, no, you can't have an energy.
Well, let's talk about Mom, Mariah Carey. You mentioned co-parenting. What is it like when you got 2 superstars co-parenting?
I mean, again, I pray that it continues to go the way that it does, because we don't agree on everything every day, and a lot of times I am the wild, zany one, and she's probably the more understanding, stable matriarch. So it probably feels like she's parenting all 3 of us still. So, but I mean, it's worked for so long, and I can only give respect and reverence to her for allowing the infrastructure to go the way that it's gone.
Any clues that one of the younger ones can't tell yet, but Rock Row, for example, any possibility they might be pursuing the same footsteps you've walked down in entertainment? Yeah,
I get the opportunity weekly. My daughter and I teach her guitar. You know what I mean? And I think I think that's an interesting quality time, whether we're, face to face, or even, we do it over Zoom or FaceTime. Just skill sets to see that she really loves the space of just like her mom, songwriting, and having the ability to express herself through song. And so just wanting to give her another skill set. So that would be nice. My son for a while was saying he wanted to be a DJ and a comedian. I think, we got him some DJ equipment early on.
I can just imagine this.
Yeah, he DJ'd one of his birthday parties. I think it was his 8th or 9th birthday party we did that. And then he's both, first of all my kids have a hilarious sense of humor. But I think now he's more in that gaming phase, and I've been I have to meet him in that space, and it's fascinating to watch how these young people operate in this whole new virtual world.
I heard a report that you've taken a vow of celibacy. I want to ask you personally to make sure it's true.
I've been wanting to talk to you about this, Doc. It's interesting. So, coming from a background where initially I come from the church, going very, almost, I don't know how to say this respectfully, but like a little too stern in that idea where the idea of fornicating and, sex before marriage was very taboo.
Yep.
So that practice, even as an adult, I've done the celibacy stints before,
You have.
especially early on, when trying to focus.
What's the longest you've gone?
Probably when I was younger, probably like when I was really trying, like around that time I was doing drumline, I think I was celibate for like a year and a half. Because I was in a relationship with someone who we were being groomed to get married. So that's what I'm saying. When you're in the church, they kind of say, there's no sex before marriage, and it strengthened the relationship. And it worked to a certain extent. I saw the benefits of it. It kept me focused on work and all those things. So I always had that in the back of my mind. So probably about a year ago, one of my therapists, we were talking, and I was talking, and we were having the conversations about multiple children and people's perceptions of it. And he just randomly threw out, have you ever thought about, abstaining and maybe taking a little sabbatical and just falling back for a minute? And I was like, and then we had the conversation like, that's easy. I was kind of trying to make my point, like, I'm not driven by sex. So I could stop right now if I wanted to. And throughout that challenge, especially with the new show coming forth and it being focused, I was like, all right, I'm going to see if I can make it to 2022 so I could focus on my show, so I could be here with you early and not feel drowsy because I was out all night chasing and doing all of that stuff. So, it's been quite entertaining on the show for people to see if I could make it to the goal. Other people have diets. I guess I have.
Yeah, I focused on diet. Celibacy would be hard. When was the last time you engaged in
full intercourse, Doc?
Full intercourse.
Because that's also a very blurry line too.
The kind of intercourse that can make a baby.
How do you define
the kind of intercourse that can make a baby?
Yeah, since we started the show. I'm doing well too.
Oh my! Now a whole level of respect.
Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm gonna make it, Doc. I'm gonna make it.
The interesting thing about celibacy is it's part of so many religious practices.
Yes.
In part because it does prove what you said earlier, which is you're not addicted. If you have to have a coffee in the morning, you're addicted to coffee.
Yeah.
Right. If you have to go out and seek out pleasures, then you're addicted.
Right.
Right. Now, if you do it because you want to do it, it's different than you have to do it.
Simple, and I think that might have been the point that I was trying to prove to the therapist at the time. And I think really it strengthens other relationships, specifically even the relationships with the family infrastructure that I have, because then it's not about, because one thing that I would say is probably one of my biggest fears and often falls into the space of insecurity is not spending enough time or not managing my time wisely and giving others who aren't my children my time. And that really, like, that could keep me up at night. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm somewhere else where my children aren't, then I'm like, I'm not being the best dad I can be in the moment. So by taking that entire energy away, now I can say, hey, I'm working or it's kids. There's no in between. And I really like how that feels.
I love that you've done the deep work on this. Seriously, it's evident even in the words you're using.
Yeah.
And those are the decisions that everyone at home is struggling with right now. And sometimes you don't know why we're unhappy, but it's because we haven't made those difficult decisions up front. Because that's the choice, right? Because even not deciding is deciding.
Yeah.
You're just not part of it.
Yeah, and you got to be, and that's the beauty of being vulnerable. You know what I mean? Because you may not know where it's going to take you, but at least you know you're stepping up and attempting to do the work.
Thanks for stopping by, Nick. I love spending time with you. All right, be sure to check out Nick's new daytime talk show, Nick Cannon. Check your local listings. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.